Daniel Bryan has officially earned himself a championship opportunity against Roman Reigns at Fastlane. Murphy's back. Yay! Standing next to Seth Rollins. Boo! And boy, oh boy, do people have opinions about Apollo Crews' new character changes. I'm Ricky Ucchino here again for SK Wrestling. Let's dive right into it. Here's the good, the bad, and we're going to change it up. We're going to do the polarizing this week from Friday Night SmackDown. First off, the good. Alright, I know we watch wrestling because we like to watch wrestling matches, right? So usually I'd be kind of irked that we didn't get the first one underway until close to a half hour into a 2-hour show, but this week, honestly, didn't bother me at all. Daniel Bryan put on a master clinic in cutting a baby face promo. There was none of this, hey, I'm just gonna go out there and fight hard and give it my all and prove that I'm the best and the good Lord willing. No. None of that crap. Daniel Bryan explained his recent funk is just going into dad mode, you know, putting other people over, putting other people's needs before his own. You know what that is? That's connecting to an audience. That's connecting to me. I'm a dad of 2 young children. I got up at 2 a.m. every day this week to work 3 jobs just to put food on the table for them. I know what it's like to put other people's needs and wants before your own. But unlike me, Daniel Bryan said, screw it, not anymore. Screw everybody else. Screw those kids. This is my shot at WrestleMania, probably my last shot to main event WrestleMania, and I am going for it. Roman Reigns then interrupted. He came down throwing some verbal haymakers of his own. He didn't yell. He didn't get carried away. He just told Daniel how he saw things. Said Daniel Bryan wasn't ambitious. He waited for opportunities, and sometimes they just came through. He never took anything the way that Roman Reigns did. He said Daniel doesn't love WWE, he needs it, and then he says he loves WWE and we all need him. I mean, just, I'm running out of ways to say it. I have run out of ways to say it. Roman Reigns, this Roman Reigns on the mic is pure gold. As if all of that wasn't enough, Jey Uso then grabbed the microphone and went full mob boss henchman, saying that Daniel was gonna get got in the main event. He had to get him. Well, Daniel Bryan didn't get got. He actually won that cage match in the main event when grabbing the rope did not break the hold of the yes lock for Jey Uso, and he was forced to tap out right in front of his cousin, who was sitting ringside. By the way, all of the looks that Paul Heyman was giving Roman Reigns throughout the night really put a nice little bow on everything. He really adds a lot to that dynamic very subtly. This whole angle just really worked for me last night. All 4 men should take a bow. Okay, so moving on now. This one is half good, half bad, kind of. Murphy's on TV again. Awesome. But he showed up standing next to Seth Rollins. Hiya! Said something about wanting to deal with his Cesaro problem. Thankfully, it's almost like Rollins heard the collective groan of the WWE Universe when we saw those two standing side by side, and the SmackDown Savior basically told Murphy to go pound sand. The former disciple of the Messiah did later wrestle Cesaro. He lost, tapping out to the sharpshooter when he was about an arm's length away from the ropes. He didn't actually reach for them for some reason. Michael Cole thought he tapped before he actually tapped, so he may have tapped twice. It was a bit of a weird ending. None of the booking really made sense, but screw it. Murphy was back on TV, and he actually wrestled. Let's all just chalk this up as a good first step. Moving on to the bad now. Stop me if you've heard me say this before, but I really hate how easy it is to beat Shayna Baszler these days. I feel like I just talked about this. Alright, I did just talk about this in my post-Raw video on Tuesday, the night after she lost to Charlotte Flair in 2 minutes. Last night, Baszler lost to Bianca Belair, even though Reginald the Sommelier provided a distraction that should have allowed for Baszler to pick up the victory. Now, I'm not mad that Bianca won. She's heading into WrestleMania as the #1 contender for the SmackDown Women's Championship. She should have won the match. The problem is she beat Shayna Baszler. She was never able to do that in NXT. Shayna was like her white whale. That's a Moby Dick reference, kids. Look it up. This win for Bianca should have meant something. It should have been a big deal. It wasn't. It's almost like there's this massive disconnect between Raw and SmackDown and NXT. Eh? Also, I really hate that Bianca and Sasha, well, hate's kind of a strong word, I genuinely dislike the fact that Bianca and Sasha are getting this tag title opportunity ahead of WrestleMania. One, you already have number one contenders in Lana and Naomi, who have been waiting weeks for their shot and I'm sure would love a pay-per-view match. And two, WWE has kind of backed themselves into a corner now, because you can either have them lose, which means Sasha would be eating a pin for the second pay-per-view in a row heading into her title defense at WrestleMania, or you have Bianca take a pinfall, or submit, God forbid, when you're potentially building her up to be your next SmackDown Women's Champion. Neither of these ladies should lose right now. Neither one of them. Okay, so then they win, probably pinning Shayna Baszler, and then they would take the Women's Tag Team Championships into WrestleMania, where they probably won't pull double duty, which means that those tag team titles are essentially taken off of the Mania card. I literally like none of those options. None of them are good. When a DQ finish is the best possible outcome, you're doing it wrong. And finally this week, not the ugly, we're going to go once again with the polarizing. Apollo added a bit more to his character this week. I'm not going to say it's good. I'm not going to say it's bad. Frankly, I don't feel like I'm the right person to make that call. I'm also not going to tell you how you should feel about the situation. How you feel about it, that's the correct emotion. We're all different. We all react to things differently. It's okay to see things differently. What I will say, though, is that I don't believe that the continued use of the Nigerian accent and the addition of the spear and the security detail are really necessary for the character, but at least Apollo explained the accent change by saying that's how he really talks, and he had been faking an American accent, similar to what we saw with Kofi back in his Jamaican days, but at least this time we got an explanation. Apollo seems to be all in with this character, so whether you love it or hate it or feel some other kind of way about it, the man has certainly committed himself to it. That's our video this time around. Make sure to give us the old thumbs up there. Make sure to also subscribe to the SK Wrestling YouTube channel for more content like this, plus exclusive interviews. I've got one with Jey Uso. I've got one with Beth Phoenix. Make sure to check those out, and so much more.